Hi everybody, I'm Heather Briggs of My So Quilty Life. Welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here. Today we are doing something so exciting. We are putting together our Flower Shop Block of the Month quilt and I cannot believe it. This is the official finishing tutorial. I can't believe I'm saying that. Guys, this has been so much fun. I've really enjoyed this block of the month so much, getting to see all of your beautiful blocks each month, and now I'm starting to see all of your beautiful quilts. But we still have one more thing left to do, is put together our quilt. At least I still have to put it together. I know some of you have already gone ahead and put together your quilts, but if you're waiting on this finishing tutorial, here it is. It's ready for you. I'm so excited to get started, so I thought I would first start by showing my completed Flower Shop quilt. This was the one that I made in my own fabric collection, Dainty Meadow with Moda Fabrics. That's my second line with Moda. And you probably all know if you've been around here, I am making the other quilt for the tutorials, my other Flower Shop Block of the Month in a couple different fabric collections by Sheri and Chelsi and Yoder. So I'm going to show my quilt really quick, and then we're going to just jump right into finishing our quilt. Now, I've already gone ahead and put a lot of the sections together because I don't feel like it's needed for me to sit and like walk you through each step. I'm going to talk through each step and show you and kind of point to everything in my units, but I thought it'd be a little easier on me, especially if I went ahead and had a lot of the units assembled for this tutorial and then I just walked you through the steps of the pattern. It's not fully put together yet. I just made sure that the units were, and then we will put it together on camera. Okay, so I wanted to show you really quick. This will probably be the last time, or one of the last times, that I really show the Flower Shop quilt, and I'm so sad. It makes me so sad that this is coming to an end, but also so excited at the same time. I know I said this before, but so sad because it's over, and I've really enjoyed all of the back and forth and seeing your blocks and just seeing you guys on the Zoom meetups and the lives and chatting with you, and I'm so sad it's over because not everybody goes on to the next block of the month. Not everybody's gonna join in on Cozy Cottage, and that's totally fine, but I'm gonna miss all of you guys so much. But I'm so excited to see your quilt, so it's like, I'm sad but I'm happy. So you might not be able to see it good because we've got some good light shining in over on my window, but here is the quilt. Now I'm gonna have to hold it up in several sections, but this is the top of the quilt. Super cute. This is the last time I'll probably show it. So sad. Okay, this is huge. I'm probably not gonna be able to show it all. Oh, I need a holder. I need a holder. So that's the middle and the door. So cute. So cute. And then the bottom. The bottom. Gotta see the bottom. It's pretty too. Okay, let's see. Can I get it up here? Oh, I think I did. I think I got it up. Okay, so here is the Flower Shop quilt. Okay, so I'm ready to get started putting together my quilt. Again, I already have stuff in sections, but if you're participating in the block of the month, you need your last pattern. This is your month 6 finishing pattern, and it's a big guy, lots of pages. So go ahead and pop your pattern open to page 1, and I wanted to really quickly talk to you because it looked a little different than a couple of the other patterns throughout the block of the month. So on this pattern, this is a layout of the entire quilt, and you'll notice that some of the pieces are kind of blurred out a little bit, or the opacity is lighter so that you don't see them. That is so that you can see exactly the pieces you need for the finishing that you have not cut yet. Everything blurred out is something you've already made in a previous month. I thought that would be a little bit easier on the eye so you weren't looking at a whole picture of the block of the month and being like, okay, what? And then seeing all the letters everywhere. So I hope that helps just a little bit. But go ahead and get all your pieces cut out, and I'm gonna meet you right back here and start showing you my sections put together and walking you through the pattern. Are you ready to get started? Let's go. Okay, so I mentioned that all my sections were already together, but I am gonna walk you through exactly what to do. So I'm not going to show you everything, but this is what I mean, that I've already pieced the blocks together that it says in the pattern. So I've got quite a bit done. So this will just speed up the tutorial a little bit and be a lot easier on me, guys. I did dress in my comfy clothes because I know it's going to be a lot of work to get this together. Lots of big, large pieces and seams and pressing, and it's going to get hot. And so I thought I would dress for the occasion. You like my shirt? I love an oversized t-shirt and some leggings. Okay, so I just thought I'd show you. I've already put together a lot of this. So here's, I mean, you probably can't see it good, but this is one of the windows. So this is what I mean. I've already put together the sections. And when I walk you through each step, I'm going to show you that section. So it makes it a little bit easier on you. Oh, so pretty. I cannot wait to get this quilt together. It's so bright, so happy, so cheery. I'm so excited for it. Okay, so we're gonna start with page 3. So after you've cut out all of your pieces, I know there's a ton. There's a lot of pieces, so just work through it. Check off as you go. Double check before you cut. Remember, measure twice, cut once, so you don't mess anything up. Because you're nearing the end of your kit as well, if you did buy a kit. And so you're probably freaking out just a little bit, wondering if you have enough fabric to get through everything, but you definitely should. But make sure that you don't miscut something. I actually miscut something when I made the Flower Shop sign block, and if you watch the tutorial, you'll see. I'm not going to point it out probably here, but I'm happy that I had extra fabric so that I could work that out. Okay, so let's go ahead and start on page 3. The first step in all of my patterns is always drawing a diagonal line on the back of your squares that you need for your corner squares. So go ahead and do that. I'm not going to list out exactly what those are, but definitely check out your pattern and get those lines drawn on the back of your fabrics. Okay, we're going to go ahead and move on to step 2. So I've got to do some digging here for my pieces. Here they are. Here they are. Okay, so moving on to step 2. We're about to start my favorite part of the entire process, which is putting the quilt together. So for step 2, I'm going to go to my top camera and kind of walk you through what's going on in step 2. So here we are, top camera. What we are doing is we are essentially starting with making our lantern units. So this is our little lantern that goes next to the door in the finishing setting. So for step 2, all we're doing is concentrating on this piece right here, the square with the little corner square of gray. So all you're doing is you're making 4 of these G units. So you need 1 fabric G and 1 fabric W square. And you are assembling as it shows in the diagram, and you're making 4. Now, once you've done that, you're moving on to step 3. So step 3 is just assembling those 2 G units to 1 T unit. So you will have your top unit of the lantern. For step 4, this one's easy. You have your MM, 2 fabric U's, 2 fabric O's, and then 2 more fabric U's on the top and the bottom. And now you're going to follow the pressing order and assembly order, the little black arrow with a number. First, you're going to assemble your fabric O to your U, again, O to U, and then assemble those to fabric MM. After you've done that and pressed, you're assembling your U to the top and your U to the bottom to make this right here. So this section right here is called your light unit. After you've done that, moving on to step 5, you're just putting your top unit with your light unit to make your lantern unit, which is what you see right here. So easy peasy, you're making 2 of those right here. You got 2. They're identical. You don't have to worry about anything at this moment. I know that it kind of might look confusing because they are, I guess, really like this in the pattern, but we haven't got there yet. You're just making your units, and those are actually the same. Okay, now we're going to move on to step 6, which we're concentrating on this little flower right here. So it's just like you've done before. We've done several of these flowers. You're just taking your XX square and 4 Q squares and turning them into corner squares, and you're going to make 4 of those. Be sure that you pay close attention to the pressing directions in this. If you have it pressed correctly, as I show in the pattern, you should have 4 XX1 units and 4XX2. That's because you're going to be pressing in different directions, so when you do put this little flower guy together, he actually nests in all of those seams where you want your points to line up, and it's just easier for your construction of this block as well as it laying flat since it is so small. So after you've done that, you're going to put all of your XX units. So there should be, in one flower, you should have 2 XX2s and 2 XX1s. So again, in your pattern, it shows you exactly where those are. After you've put together your whole flower unit, you should have 2. 1, 2. We're going to be moving on to step 8, which is essentially putting 2 fabric Ps on the side of your flower unit and pressing and then assembling 1 fabric J to the top. And here we have our flower units. So this section right here is what you just made. Okay, for step 9, you're essentially making a L side and an R side, okay? And what you need here is 1 lantern, 1 flower unit, and 1 fabric A, which is this long rectangle right here. You're going to be putting those together. And after you've put those together, you're going to be assembling your colored, so your door frame fabric QQ rectangle. Now, in my original quilt, I used a yellow fabric here, but I just thought I'd change it up and use a pink fabric to match all of my door trims. And I just didn't find a yellow I liked, and if I did, I didn't have enough fabric, and I didn't want to have to go out and buy more. So I just used what I'm using for my window trim. So that might get confusing, but this is fabric QQ. So at this point in the pattern, you should have this finished right here, okay? Now we're gonna move on to making those cute little trees next to the door, and I've already gone ahead and assembled those, as you can see here, only to make things more complicated for you. I'm just kidding. So you can actually see what's going on here. So you're gonna start by making your KK unit, which is this unit up here, right up here. What you're gonna do is you're going to assemble 4 fabric Q squares on each corner of 1 fabric KK. Again, you're making 2. That was for step 10, okay? For step 11, this is where you have to pay a little bit more attention. You're going to be using your 2 YY squares, but instead of using all of the same square on the corner, you're using 2 fabric W and 2 fabric N. Now, your fabric W is the trim color, and your fabric in is your background color. So you have to pay close attention because you're gonna have 1 LYY unit and 1 RYY unit. That's for left and that's for right, because you're gonna have 2 separate door frames on each side. Okay, once you have done that, we will be moving on to step 12. So for step 12, we're just making this little unit right here. And again, you're gonna have 2 separate squares. You're gonna have 1 fabric W and 1 fabric N. Again, fabric W is the door trim color and fabric N is the background color. And you're gonna have 2. So you're gonna have an LZZ and an RZZ, left and right. Okay, I think we're all on the same page. Hope we are. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the flower pot right here. So step 13, you need 1 fabric R square, 1 fabric G square, 1 fabric TT square. Again, fabric TT should match the door frame and fabric G should match the background. You're gonna do 1 LR unit and 1 RR unit. So you're making 2, see, they are reversed. Okay, now we're gonna move on to those little stems that are holding these cute little trees up. Okay, so we're gonna start with step 14. That is right here and here. Okay, so all you're doing here is just like it shows in the pattern. You need 1 fabric F, 1 fabric OO, which is that little stem, and 1 fabric M, and assembling them together. You're doing the opposite on this side. You have 1 fabric N on the left, 1 fabric OO, and 1 fabric F. Okay. Next, you're putting this unit together right here, this whole unit with this top little piece of the tree. To do this, you're using 1D, 1 KK unit, one stem unit, which is what you made here, and one RR, that's that door frame unit. And you're assembling it according to the instructions, and that will make your L top unit. You're doing the reverse for your R top unit, okay? So just pay close attention to how that is assembled. And moving on to step 16, we are working on this middle unit right here. So what we're going to do first is we're going to take our YY unit, so remember you have two, in reverse, and you're going to make the left side, the left middle unit, or L middle unit. You need your YY unit, fabric H, which is your background, and fabric UU, and you're just assembling those together. You're going to do the same thing to make your R middle unit. Okay, let me move these up just a bit. Now we're making this unit right down here on both sides. So we need our ZZ unit. We need one fabric L, one fabric W, one fabric SS. So I'm just noticing, reading the pattern, you're actually making two of the same of these back in step 14. I missed that telling you that. So these are the same, this one and this one. Okay, so moving back to step 17, you will have your SS, your L stem unit, which you made in step 14, and you will have fabric L and fabric W. First, you're going to assemble fabric L and W to the ZZ unit, then assemble your SS, which it looks like I don't have a pressing arrow there for you, so I apologize for that in the pattern. You're assembling your fabric SS to your L stem unit, and then assembling those together. This makes your L bottom unit. You're going to be doing the same thing over here, taking that right stem unit, one SS, your W and your L, and assembling those together. So once you have done that, moving on to step 18 is you're putting this section together right here. So this little tree with the flower pot, you're putting it together. Now I will say you do need to line up a few of your seams here. You need to make sure that that door frame coming down right there, which is piece RR, hits that seam right there in the corner. And you can kind of see that here happening and happening here. You'll see it on this side as well. So just be sure you'll see it on this side as well, right there. So those are really the only places you need to match up at that point. Now we're gonna move on to step 19, which is making and putting together all of this. So this whole thing. And to do that, you're just assembling these two units. Now, these seams right here should nest. If you followed the pressing instructions, those should nest nicely. And if they don't, that's fine. Just make sure that maybe you pin or pay extra close attention to those. That is the only place those need to line up so that you have a continuous door frame all the way down. So now we have our L door side unit and our R door side unit, and we are finished with those, and we can move on to the next step. Okay, here are my units right here. Don't those look so cute? So cute. I love them. Here are my units, just so you can see them maybe a little better than you can on the top camera. Here are mine. I love this, and I love that I did the pink door frame. Makes me so happy. I love pink. Okay, now we're ready to move on to step 20. We are rocking and a-rolling, and we are gonna start with putting our left shelf unit together. This is exciting because all the blocks go together. Okay, so I've gone ahead and already made it all the way to step 22, but I am gonna walk you through. So here's what this looks like. We're essentially putting together our monthly blocks with our little shelf that goes across, and that is fabric in. So you can kind of see here my fabric in, and for this step we are using two fabric in rectangles, one block 1, one block 2, and one block 5 to make the left shelf unit. So what we're gonna do first is we are going to assemble our two blocks here with our third block here. This is a block right here, and we are assembling two fabric in. So our ins are right here. These are these little shelves that the blocks are sitting on. You have two, one here and one here. Okay, so first we're going to be putting block 1 on the top and assembling it to our in, and block 2 in the middle and assembling our in. And then we're gonna assemble our block 5 to all of those and assemble them together. Moving on to step 21 is where we're going to be adding right here these two pieces of fabric for our like window frame and the background fabric, as you see here. So what you're going to do is, after you've assembled your middle piece here, which is called the left shelf unit, you're making one so far, you're going to be assembling 2 fabric eyes and 2 fabric GG rectangles to your left shelf unit. When you've done that, you will have your left window unit, okay? And we can move on to step 22. Step 22 for the left window unit, you are assembling this cute little planter box down here, as well as the top pieces here, the top trim piece and our top background piece. So that is fabric B and fabric HH, and this down here is block 9. So this is block 9. You made 2 block 9s. One's gonna be for your other side of your right window unit. But that's all you do here. No big deal. After you do that, be sure to kind of straighten up your seams and trim off any excess that you have when you are putting this together. So when you're ready to assemble this to like the door unit and everything, that you don't have to stop and do that. I always make sure that I go ahead and trim after every time I sew something together, just so it stays clean and I'm ready for the next step. Okay, let's go ahead and move on. Oh my goodness, so we're moving on to our door. We're making our door now. Okay, so moving on to step 23, we're making our little door handle and the door. So I wanted to show you what that looked like. So here's my door. And as you can see right here in this gray fabric, that is my door handle. So that's what we're going to be making in step 23. So here's what my door looks like. And if you remember, I accidentally used the wrong background fabric for the piece, this top piece in my door. But because it's in my door, I was like, I'm not going to sit there and re-piece this entire block because it took a long time. I'm sure you can relate. It took a while to piece that block, and I was not about to literally cut out all those pieces again and re-piece it. Now, if it was like the background of one of my other blocks, it would stand out a lot more. But in the door, it kind of just looks like it was part of the door. So I'm gonna leave it, and I don't think I'll even notice when the quilt is quilted. Okay, I'm gonna go to my top camera and talk you through making this doorknob. So for step 23, you need fabric S square and 4 fabric DD squares, and you're doing what we always do, corner squares. You're putting your fabric DD squares in the corners of fabric S and pressing to make your S unit. Your next step, 24, you're just assembling fabric V and 2 CCs to make the CC unit. And then for step 25, you're just assembling that little doorknob together. Isn't that just adorable? I think it's so cute. It's adorable, guys. We're making the door, and it's adorable. Oh my gosh, I should cut that out. Okay, so next we are piecing essentially our middle door unit without the sides. So you do see the sides here, but we're not there yet, and you know I pieced it all together already. So what we need is we need our block 7, and I'll probably get this backwards. I'm not sure if this one's 7 or this one's 7. You guys know. But anyway, we need block 7 and 8, or 7 and 8. Okay, and we need 2 fabric BB rectangles. So those fabric BB rectangles are right here, just right above our watering can block. You're just assembling those together, and your block 7 or your block 8 and just having this middle unit. So you got to act like these are not on there yet on the sides. You're just piecing this middle piece right there. Now for step 27, we are putting everything together. So you are assembling the sides of the door together. What you have is you'll have your handle unit, fabric Z rectangle, fabric AA rectangle, fabric X, which is the long one, and the top here, which is fabric Y. And you're just gonna press according to the instructions, and then you'll have your full door unit, which is so exciting. Welcome to the flower shop. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to step 28. This is just the top piece of the door, and after we assemble that together, we're gonna be putting our whole door unit with those little side units, and then that's like a big chunk of the quilt. So we're like almost done, kind of. Okay, so this is step 28. This is what you're making. So you're putting together your block 10. Now, something you need to make sure of is in the pattern, I have the leaves pointing down. Do you see the side leaf right here, how it's pointing down on both sides? Now, you're more than welcome to have it go up. Just make sure you pay close attention when you are assembling that those go down if you want it to match the pattern. Okay, so here's block 10, and we are putting it together to make our top door unit. So all we're doing here is we are taking our block 10, which is this piece right here, and we are assembling our fabric PP to 2 fabric Cs, and then assembling that to our block 10. So easy. That is so easy. So this is what your top door unit is. Now, I'm at a spot where I am about to put together my middle unit, which is the door, the side units, and this top unit. So I get to do that right now on camera with you guys. So what we need first is our top door unit. This is what it looks like. And make sure you have it laid out correctly. Your door trim's there. You need your door unit, which is this one. This is your door unit, okay? And you will need your side units. So remember the side units that we made with the cute little plants in the pot and the lanterns? Those are what we need for this. So here we have my side units. So this is kind of hard to navigate here, but what you're going to do first is you are going to assemble your 2 side units. Now make sure they're going the right way. So you remember you have a left one, so this one is my right one, so it's going to go on my right side, and this one is my left one, so it's going to go on my left side. So just make sure that you have those going right, because that long colored fabric is actually your door trim, and you don't want it on the opposite side because that doesn't need double trim on the windows. So what you're going to do first is you're going to assemble those side units to the door unit. After you've done that and pressed, you're going to assemble that top unit on top. So I'm going to go ahead and do that now, and then I'm going to get sewing, and then I'll have my finished door unit ready to go to show you. So I'm going to go do that right now. Okay, I just finished with step 29, and here we have my middle unit. Oh my goodness gracious. I'm not sure you can see. Can you see the bottom? No. Here it is. So pretty, guys. It's going together. I'm just so excited. Oh my goodness. This is, again, like I always say, finishing is my favorite. I like putting together the blocks, especially in a sampler style quilt like this where it's not the same repeating blocks over and over. I absolutely love when I see it all come together. That is my favorite part of this entire process, and we're doing it right now, guys. We're doing it. I'm so excited. Yeah, that background fabric doesn't bother me. We'll see on that one block that I made the mistake on. We'll see how it looks when it's all quilted up to even see if I can see a difference. All right, so now we're going to move on to page 7, moving right along. So for step 30 and all the way to 32, this is what we're making. We're making our right window unit. So adorable. Gosh, these fabrics are so pretty. I love how like bright and cheery it is. Okay, so I'm going to go to my top camera, and it's just like before, but we need block 3, 4, and 6, which is our open sign. Now come on in. So you're going to be assembling 3, 4, and 6 to your little shelf here, which is fabric in, just like before in pressing. Then we are putting our fabric GG rectangles and our fabric I rectangles, assembling those. And then finally, we are assembling for step 32, we are assembling our fabric B and HH, that's that top in the top background. And then our other adorable little block 9. So this is our other block 9. We used it in the left window, but now we have our right window unit. Okay, now all we have to do is the awning. All we have to do is like the top details of the flower shop, the flower shop sign, and we are going to be putting this together. I'm so excited. I don't know if you can tell how excited I am, but I'm super excited. Okay, I'm going to go get the green awning and the other pieces for like the top pieces, and we will talk through them. Okay, I grabbed my awning, which I already put together, but we are going to talk through, and the top piece, but we are going to talk through we're doing it. Okay, so for step 33, we are making a JJ unit. Now for the awning, you have two different pieces. You have a green and you have a white piece. And now all you're doing for step 33 is taking your green JJs, okay, and assembling your two fabric K squares to the bottom. Now pay close attention, you are pressing them in opposite directions so that when you assemble your next piece on, those seams nest and you can get a really good seam right there. Nice point. So for step 34, we're doing the same thing, but we're using our fabric LL rectangle and two fabric K. Now I would normally just go ahead and put this together, but in the pattern I had just a little bit of space. I needed to go ahead and add another step. And the other step for step 35 is just assembling this piece right here, fabric EE to fabric E, to make your EE unit. This is that top of the building, and turning the pattern over, you're concentrating on this top piece right here. So I will put our awning to the side, and we are just concentrating on this piece here. And usually I skip around like that when I need more space in the pattern and I don't want to have a huge void in my pattern, so I'll just fill it in with a couple different steps. So that's what happened here. So for step 36, we are putting together our top, the shop top unit with using our fabric FF rectangles and the EE units. And you are just assembling them like this. All right, super simple. This is the top of our quilt. So that's all you're doing here. Now for step 37, we are using our Flower Shop sign and with the two blocks. So blocks 11 and 12, which we made in month 6, we are just putting them together. Okay, so all you're doing here is taking your two block 11s. Pay close attention that they are going the right way because they are two opposite blocks. So if you followed the coloring or you're using Dainty Meadow, your yellows go inside, your pinks are on the outside. So just pay close attention to that. All you're doing is assembling those blocks, which are right here. This is a block, okay? You're just assembling it to your Flower Shop sign, which is block 12. So that's what that'll look like. Oh, looks so darn cute. I am so in love. So that's that side. Okay, for step 38, just to switch it back on you, now we're putting the awning together. And this is like, we're almost done, guys. So close. Okay, so for this awning, I'm gonna walk you through kind of how I do it when I piece something like this together. So here is my awning, my green awning. I'm not sure, I think that's a Sheri and Chelsi green fabric, but then I think that's Canning Day, maybe, of a Yoder fabric, and I just thought it was super cute. So here is my awning, so adorable. I would love like a little white building with white and green awnings on it. It'd be so cute. Okay, maybe I could design in my own pattern like a vinyl white, like a vinyl awning. Oh, I'm thinking of like so many ideas. Okay, let me walk you through how I do this. So after I have assembled those squares to each of my rectangles, what I do is I will piece about 5 at a time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at a time together. Okay, so what I do is I first nest my seams where they need to nest, and I will just stitch a little bit over that. I'll flip it open, see if I like it, and then what I will do is I will just go ahead and make sure that it lines up good here, and if it doesn't, if it's too short, I will stretch it just a bit. If it's too long, I'll probably just chop it off. So that's what I did. So what I do is I do 5 at a time, okay? Then take my other 5 at a time, my other 5, there's 20. So then the other 5, and I'll assemble those. Then I press them, and you're pressing open just so that you don't have a bunch of bulk there. And then I will just assemble all of those sections together, just so I'm not adding it all at once and it becomes just kind of a mess to handle. And then all I do is I just trim off the little excess there. Now, we're gonna move on to step 39. We're kind of putting that top unit together. The top unit has the awning, it has the top unit, and it has your Flower Shop sign with a strip of pink, just kind of adding extra accents and detail to the building. So what we need is we need our top. So this is gonna get a little messy here. Okay, what we need is our top unit, I'm gonna try to get all of this in the frame, which I probably won't. We need our top unit, which goes on the top like that. We need our Flower Shop sign unit. Not sure what I'm calling this. Sign unit? Yeah. So it'll go like this. Okay. And then you'll need fabric II, which fabric II uses 2 pieces that you're going to assemble together. Okay, so here's my II. In the cutting instructions, you do cut 2 of the rectangles, so 2 with the fabrics, and then you're just piecing it together, okay? So this will go in between your awning and that sign unit. So I'm trying to lay everything out for you, just like this. So what you're gonna do first is you are going to assemble this little strip right here, II, to your awning unit, okay? And assemble these 2 together. Then I'm assembling this whole section to this whole section, and then that top unit is done. So I'm gonna go ahead and do all of that for step 39, and when I come back here, this will all be assembled. Okay, I just finished with step 39, which was putting together like this whole, we're calling it the top unit here. So look how that turned out. Oh my goodness, we only have like just a couple more steps. I think 1 more step left, and we are putting this whole quilt together. I'm trying to I get real giddy and I start to get like anxious and excited when I'm putting quilts together. So I'm trying to remember to calm myself down because I still have to talk on camera and I don't want to be like jittery the whole time. But I'm just so excited. Okay. Here is my top unit. So, here is my top unit. So we have that top piece, we have the Flower Shop sign, and we have the awning with that little strip of pink for that extra detail on the building. Okay, so now we're gonna move on to step 40. Now, step 40 is literally putting all of these things together. It's gonna get massive, lots of pieces. So we're turning over to page 9. And step 40 is just that. We are assembling our left unit to our door, our right unit to our door, and pressing. And then we are assembling our top unit, essentially, to that bottom unit. And then we're all done with putting this quilt together. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and get that done. I don't think you really need to see that. It's just way too big to maneuver to kind of show you either camera. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and put it together. And the next time you see me, my quilt's gonna be together. I'm so excited. Okay. Bring it back down, bring it back down. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and do all of that, and then I will pop back on here to show you my finished quilt. See you in a bit. Okay, I just finished my Flower Shop quilt. I'm so excited. Do you wanna see it? You don't wanna see it, do you? Okay, I will show you. But it's gonna be a little hard to get it all in the camera. I'm so happy. I'm so happy. It looks so pretty. I haven't seen it like you're seeing it yet because, you know, when you work on a quilt and you're up close to it, you don't see what it looks like from far away. So hopefully nothing is crooked or wonky. I'll see that later when I actually hold it up and take a picture of it. But here is my finished Flower Shop Block of the Month quilt. So there's the top. I'm going to hold it in several sections. Oh my goodness, I cannot wait to get this quilted. I really wonder what quilting design I'm gonna pick for this one. Here is the middle section. Love that. Isn't it so pretty? Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, I hope you are so giddy about your quilt as well. Okay, and here is the bottom. So pretty. My arms don't stretch. I have a long wingspan, but not as long as this. So I'm gonna put it on my top camera and see if I can just kind of slide it off the table for you to kind of see every section. This quilt's big. I think it's 75 by 75. So I'm gonna start. Oh no, I need to start. Let's start on the bottom so then the quilt's not falling. This might not work, guys. So here is the bottom of my quilt. Oh my goodness, there's the door. Is this not the most adorable quilt ever? Have you ever seen something like this? I love designing these Block of the Months. It's my favorite type of quilt to design and to make, honestly. Oh, so pretty. Oh, the middle there. Oh my goodness. Okay, let me, there we go. My weird sound effects, you guys are used to it. And the top, I'm gonna have to maybe see if I can't pop a really good picture in after it's held up, but there is the quilt. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited. So excited. S-E-W, so excited. That's how excited I am. I know I say so and like and all those words a lot, but my quilt is finished. Now, there is an optional fun little applique that you can put on your awning, and I included in the pattern with a little template, and I started to make those for my Flower Shop quilt that I had made, the original one in Dainty Meadow, and then I was like, well, I don't know if I want to put that on, but I wanted to show you really quick. I made them. I should probably just put them on, but I just don't know. Oh my goodness. Okay, I'm trying to get this, there we go, at a good spot. So the last page just shows a little template of a flag and gives you all the instructions. I just thought it'd be so cute to have little flags across the awning, but my instructions show you how to add them to the left and right side. And really all you're doing is cutting out that flag template. I used this method where you use interfacing and just sew in interfacing, and then you cut the back, and then you have a little applique piece. So how cute would this be? I probably need to come wider. Now, I'm not going to have a tutorial on how to add these to your quilt. You may find it easier to just add it to the awning first before you attach everything or assemble everything together. But how cute is that? So you can add these cute little flags. You can either applique them all down, or you can just stitch across the top with your sewing machine, or stitch across the top and they can be loose. But if you do leave them loose, I would wait till after your quilt has been quilted. If you're just going to applique them all down, then it's fine to do it before your quilt has been quilted. But you just don't want anything that's going to be like flopping around for it to accidentally get sewed incorrectly when it's being quilted. So that's just a fun little optional thing you can do. You don't have to. I honestly think I'm just going to leave them off both quilts. I think that, you know, it's time for me to just move on. I don't have time to go back and add it to my other quilt at this moment, but I wanted to show you that that is an option for you if you look at page 10 on your finishing pattern. Okay, oh my gosh. So we are officially done with all of our patterns. Oh my gosh, can you believe it? It's like done, like D-O-N-E, done. Okay, so I'm so sad, but I hope you save these patterns and I hope you make some fun, cute little remix projects with them. I know I was a little bit of a slacker this time of making remix projects, but for a good reason. I have so much going on and so many things behind the scenes that you don't even know of yet is happening, and I just don't have the time to do all the little things that I used to be able to do. So I have enjoyed seeing everybody that's made some bonus or some remix projects with these patterns. So don't throw them away. Please keep them, store them in a binder, keep them organized, keep them in the little plastic bag they came in, and revisit them occasionally. If you need a fun, cute little flower block, or you're looking for a block for another quilt, just, you know, give some ideas for other things. I know for me, when I'm lacking inspiration, I will flip through all of my patterns, and I bet this pattern will give you lots of inspiration to get sewing again, regardless if it's on the Flower Shop or not. So be sure to save these patterns. Do not throw them away. They are so sweet and so good, so good. So guys, this is it. I'm awful at ending videos, but I hope you enjoy putting your quilt together and getting this Flower Shop Block of the Month wrapped up. I am absolutely impressed by all the talent that we had this time with the Flower Shop Block of the Month. There are some really cute quilts. There's a lot of quilts using Dainty Meadow, which is perfect. That's what the original Block of the Month kit was. But then there's a few of you using different fabrics and taking design liberties, which is what this is all about. Don't ever feel like you can't take design liberties to make it your own. I know some people did that with the color, and some people did that by changing changing up the Flower Shop sign into maybe a sign of a flower shop. I know somebody did that because they had a flower shop one time in their family, so they wanted it to say that flower shop that their family used to own. So I think that is so sweet. So I hope you enjoyed this block of the month. I know we've got a few things still to wrap up, like the celebration and the live for the month 6, but I'm so sad that it's almost over, and I hope you enjoyed this. I hope you enjoyed me as your host and the tutorials and all the free goodies that you got along the way. This has been an amazing journey, and I'm so excited to start on my next block of the month, which kicks off very soon, May 16th. We are starting the Cozy Cottage. So if you love me enough and you love making these quilts, I hope that you will join that. It is going to be a lot of fun. I'm actually running it just a tad bit differently, and I'm so excited to show you what that's all about. So I hope you'll join us. All right, don't forget to share all of your progress, whether it's blocks, whether it's your finished quilt, using our special hashtag for this block of the month. It is hashtag Flower Shop BOM on social media. And don't forget to tag me so I can see all your pretty things. I'm going to be going in there and start doing a huge share of everybody's stuff that I've missed over the past couple months, and I cannot wait to share your pictures. Also, don't forget, there is a deadline to send me pictures of your finished quilt top or blocks, whatever you want to send me for the celebration video. I believe that's April 30th. I could be mistaken, so check out the email that I send you and be sure to send me those so you can be in the celebration video. Also, don't forget to submit your bingo entries. We played bingo this entire time, just helping you stay on track. Don't forget to submit those. It's an honor system, and so I'm not going to go and check, and you don't have to submit your bingo card. You just submit if you got blackout or how many bingos you got. And also, don't forget that we have some celebration categories to win. So there are 15 categories you can enter. You don't have to have a completed quilt top or a completed quilt. There is fun categories for everybody. Please go in and enter those categories. And guys, this is it. This is your last tutorial for the Flower Shop block of the month. Again, I hope you had a wonderful time. I know I did, and I cannot wait to see all of your quilts. Thank you so much for joining this block of month and joining me each month on our lives and videos. I will see you next time. Bye, guys.